Of all the auto brands on the road today, only one has been named the best auto brand for 6 straight years. That brand is Mazda. Come shop and save on the award-winning lineup of new Mazdas right now at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on AIRLINE.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
An absolutely looking day outside edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours this day in our COVID-19 existence as we trudge our way through yet another. If you've not been out of doors so far today, count your blessings. It is absolutely miserable out of doors. Of course, now it is South Louisiana, and you know what they always say, particularly for this time of year. If you're ever here and you don't like the weather, well, stick around 10 minutes because it's bound to change. Another front coming through, and temperatures have dropped in a corresponding fashion as they typically do this time of year, and intermittent rain all across the region. So if you're appointed rounds today call for you to get out and about, factor that into the equation. Give yourself a little extra time because as you well know, we here in Louisiana, we can't drive when it's dry. So you throw a little rain out there and wet, slick streets, and you know what typically happens in the aftermath of that. We start today's show talking about something that has to be a concern for all of us. And this is regardless of where you live, regardless of what socioeconomic status you currently enjoy, and regardless of what political or ideological philosophy you adhere to. Deadly crime here in the state of Louisiana, and particularly South Louisiana, has gotten to the point where if we don't get a firm handle on this in the very, very near future, we are going to find ourselves in a situation that none of us will want to deal with. Here in the capital city of Baton Rouge, 6 crime scenes, 3 fatalities in one day. In the city of New Orleans, over a 24-hour span, Sunday to Monday. 4 shootings there. And if you are one of those that's of the opinion, well, Clarence, you got to understand that's big cities, that's an inner city problem. No, you would be sorely mistaken. When you look at places like New Iberia, in no way, shape, or form a large metropolitan area. And so far this year, they've had 6 shootings resulting in 2 homicides just so far this year. It tells you how widespread the magnitude of the problem is. When we as a society find ourselves at a point where we become desensitized, it says a lot about us. I got to tip my hat to the folks in New Iberia, because they have arrived at the point where they are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And as a result, this week they held a Stop the Killing, Start Living town hall meeting. As is typically the case with situations like this, individuals come together, and in many instances, and I guess rightfully so, it is a matter of the community coming together to vent and the community coming together to question what, if any, solutions are available. It was interesting at this town hall meeting in New Iberia. As is normally the case, people are asking, okay, what can we do? Somebody, quote, needs to do more. Well, the sheriff there, Sheriff Romero, says there is something that can be done. Quote, it starts at home, people. It starts at the house. When he made that statement, one gentleman asked, but how do you get the kids engaged? One gentleman there was quick to point out that of the 100 or so people that turned out for this town hall meeting in New Iberia, none of them in attendance were the adolescents, the young people that they are hoping to keep on the straight and narrow. Listen, y'all, I understand full well it's a different day. I understand full well that parents these days are not like parents of a bygone era, us baby boomers. But if I could make a suggestion, because I am hoping that, like New Iberia, every city that is being troubled like this, and particularly those that have yet to reach that point, if they are proactive, they will start having meetings, the likes of New Iberia, before it gets to be a problem. But when you as a parent go to a town hall meeting to help, quote, stop the killing and start living, it doesn't make sense for you to go and leave your kids at home. Well, Mom, you know, I've got to do such and such. No, Get your stuff. We're going. It is akin to you as a parent going to church on Sunday, but you leave your kids at home. I mean, typically, and I'm going to use the vernacular of the streets, you already know the Lord. So you're not the problem. The church is not for those who are saved. The church is for those who have yet to receive salvation. And unfortunately, we have gotten far too comfortable in our air-conditioned sanctuaries, our padded pews, to where now it's more of a social club, a social event, as opposed to bringing hope to the lost. The same holds true with our kids. And ironically, those that don't bring their kids to events like this, the town hall to stop the killing and start living, when their kids become the victims, then they wonder, where are we failing them? These numbers are frightening. And let's be honest here, because I'm a long-time Louisiana boy, capital city, near and dear to my heart. But growing up, when you started talking crime, and you all please accept this in the spirit that it's given, if you're a long-time South Louisianian, then you know old Clarence is not telling you anything but the truth. When you talked about crime growing up as boomers, there was only one place you were talking about: New Orleans. That was it. Now, you would have sporadic instances in other cities, but as far as there being a, quote, crime problem, there was only one place: New Orleans. Well, they got a whole lot of company now. When a city the size of New Iberia has to have a town hall meeting to stop the killing and start living, that should tell you everything you need to know. When a city that size is being plagued by crime and deadly violence, you already know how bad it has to be in the, quote, major cities in our state. And I don't know what it is going to take for us as a society to arrive at a point where we realize the police can't fix this. Police are reactive. And God bless them, there are people like Chief Murphy Paul and others that try to be proactive, try to increase patrols, try outreach programs to the youth in our communities. But at the end of the day, pure and simple, it starts at home. If you don't know who your children's friends are, if you don't know who your children's friends' parents are, you're a big part of the problem. And at the end of the day, when the rubber meets the road, it starts at home, pure and simple. And unfortunately, we can no longer afford the luxury of depending on the teachers to raise our kids. We can no longer afford the luxury of the church raising our kids. We can no longer afford the luxury of the politicians and the government raising our kids. These are our children. And at the end of the day, they didn't ask to come here. They had no say-so. You brought them here. And as a result, you have a responsibility to raise them in a fashion where they can become productive citizens in this society. And the sooner we come to that realization, the brighter the future is going to be for our kids. And at the end of the day, you can holler all you want about systemic racism. You can holler all you want about environmental justice. You can holler all you want about this, that, and the other. But when it comes down to it, if you train up a child in the way they should go, when they become old, they will not depart from it. Pretty simple equation. And it ain't that hard to figure out. Sorry, English teachers, I didn't give y'all the heads up. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. First break of today's show. We'll get her done. Come back and lighten it up a little bit with a sports update. That's up next, right here on the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with MANDA Fine Meats. Here at MANDA, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. MANDA Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. MANDA Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it MANDA every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Hello? Hello? Yeah, come on in. We're open. Yeah. Lightening up the mood just a little bit. I told you, Marty, let him in. Marty, tell him, come on in. Answer the door. Good thing we don't have a doorbell, right? The Russell Wilson saga is this day no closer to being solved than in recent memory. By now, I'm sure you all have seen the the video of Mayor LaToya Cantrell sending a message to Russell Wilson and his family that, hey, if you want out of Seattle, we'd be more than happy to have you here in New Orleans. I want to be careful how I say this. It's almost embarrassing. And I understand in a city like New Orleans, where football is such an integral part of society, particularly an NFL franchise, that when you hear rumors the likes of, wow, a Russell Wilson coming in to pick up the mantle after Drew Brees exits, that's enough to get the football juices flowing. But first of all, and I hope just by chance he is flipping through the channels and happens to stop here and sees this, I'm hoping that Drew Brees will let us all know as soon as humanly possible what his ultimate decision is going to be. If you walk up to 100 Saints fans today, make it 1,000 Saints fans today, and ask, do you think Drew is officially done? 990 plus of them would probably tell you, yeah, he's done. I mean, he's at that stage now, you know, particularly because of his age, and you look at the injuries that occurred last year. I think he's got the smarts to say, you know what, it's been a hell of a run, got a ring out of the deal, let me get out while the getting is good. Now, that being said, only Drew will know. Now, that being said, down the road, you've got to entertain reality. And the fan base that is arguably the most loyal in all of professional sports deserves knowing down the road what to look forward to, what to expect, what is realistic. But quite frankly, I don't see where the mayor chiming in this regard is going to help one way or another. Maybe she's privy to something that I'm not. Would not be the first time, probably won't be the last time. But the mayor in Seattle was not particularly enamored with the mayor in New Orleans attempting to woo Russell Wilson away from Seattle and to the Crescent City. As you probably saw in the mayor's retort from Seattle, we're also looking for an NBA franchise. Quote, don't make me go there. So we'll keep an eye on this and see how it develops. One thing is for certain. The folks that are Saints fans have become accustomed to an offense that puts up certain numbers, an offense that operates a certain way. So the expectation is there, and anything short of fulfilling that expectation, not to mention Saints coach Sean Payton is one that's his bread and butter. That's his trademark. So anything less than that certainly is not going to be acceptable. We'll keep an eye on it and see how all of this turns out. And speaking of football, this weekend here in the capital city is going to be something that folks have been salivating over. After the wake of COVID-19, the cancellation of Southwestern Athletic Conference football, Jaguar football, for the fall of last year, this weekend will be the only opportunity in spring football to visit Mumford Stadium and take in a game. The Golden Lions of the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff will come a-calling this weekend. And I found it interesting, and I'm not assigning blame, pointing fingers, or anything of that magnitude. It is simply to share information with you. I found it interesting just this morning as I'm flipping through the channels and looking at various news sources and the like. There was a lot of conflicting information as far as the reality of what's going to happen this weekend at Mumford Stadium. First and foremost, kickoff is set for 1:30. Secondly, for those of you that cannot attend, the game will be carried on ESPN3. So if you don't have ESPN3, get on your cell phone, start calling your neighbors, find out who's got the good cable package, so you can go over to their place, pack up a bunch of masks, tell them I'll bring the ribs, you get the sides, and we'll tailgate there. Speaking of, no tailgating allowed. I probably didn't need to tell you that, but you never know. I got on the phone this morning with the Sports Information Department at Southern University because one of the news sources right here in Baton Rouge said in the news story on 2 or 3 different occasions, no fans in attendance. That is not true. I got on the phone this morning Talked with my man in the sports information department. Talked with Willie Scott. Willie, thank you. You were a big help. Fans will be limited to 25% attendance in Mumford Stadium. And if memory serves correct, I think Mumford holds probably around 27,000, somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe slightly more since the addition to the north end zone. So you're talking probably in the neighborhood of 6,000 to 7,000 people will be there. I also spoke with the folks in, thank you, Marty. 6,000? Okay. That's what Coach said? Okay. Well, hey, I'm not about to go against Coach Dawson. 6,000 will be in attendance. So just on a whim, I called up the ticket office. And I forget the young lady's name that I spoke to, but she was a big help. She informed me that there are still tickets available, and they will be on sale through Friday. Now, what is arguably the most important part of the whole shebang, unless you are an actual member of the team. I heard it last night, saw it on the news again today, and I was like, what? Really? Well, I don't know if I'm going to even use the tickets I have. If you see news stories saying the Human Jukebox, the internationally acclaimed, often imitated but never duplicated Southern University Marching Band is not going to be in attendance, pay no attention to that story. When I saw it, I was crushed. I was like, are you kidding me? No jukebox? So immediately, I said, wait a minute. I got to get to the bottom of this. I got to find out what is going on up in here with all of this. Fake news, disinformation. So sure enough, I called the Southern University Sports Information Department and talked to Willie Scott, the assistant SID, and I said, Willie, I heard the jukebox is not going to be there. He bust out laughing and said, no, man, that's not true. That is not true. Jukebox will be there. So 25% attendance. Tickets are still available, number one. Number two, no tailgating, okay? Do that at home. If you want to tailgate, then find somebody that has ESPN3, watch it there, and do your tailgating with your mask and whatnot, social distancing, yada, yada, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But you will not be allowed to tailgate on campus. And the jukebox will be there, okay? I am still suffering fall withdrawal from not having heard the band in all this time. So I love football as much as the next person, probably more, because I've spent 40 years of my professional life covering and broadcasting games. But it ain't SWAC football without the jukebox. It ain't SWAC football without the bands. That is as much a part of the entire experience as football itself. Now, understand, if you decide you're going to follow the Jags this year, if you're going to go to Jackson, if you're going to go to Houston twice, Texas Southern and Prairie View, the jukebox will not travel. Southwestern Athletic Conference has set down regulations. Only the home bands will be allowed to play. If it is a neutral site, no bands will be allowed. So suffice it to say, this will be, if you're like me and you are jonesing to hear a SWAC band, well, a band, because at the end of the day, there's really only one, the jukebox. Everybody else is, there's the jukebox and the rest of y'all. That's how that works. Yeah, I know Sonic Boom of the South. I know Aristocrats of Bands. I know Ocean of Soul. I know. I get all that. But it ain't but one, jukebox. And yeah, I'm biased because I marched with them. What can I say? The other folks will probably tell you the same thing. If you want to see them before the fall, this weekend is your only shot. It's your only shot because they're not going to travel. Bayou Classic will be held at a neutral location, so they won't be playing there. As a matter of fact, when I talked with Willie this morning, he told me they are working on getting a super DJ to entertain the crowd for the Bayou Classic. I would hate to be that guy. I really would, because that poor soul is going to have his work cut out for him, trying to replace the jukebox and the Grambling State Marching Band. Good luck in that regard. But if you want to see them this weekend, it's your only shot to hear the jukebox before the fall rolls around. And again, Mumford Stadium will be limited to 6,000 fans. Tickets are still available, but better get them quick because they're not going to last long. Just saying. Just saying. Bottom of the hour. Let me get this break out of the way. When we come back, I want to share with you an example that may be the clearest you will ever get of the old adage, it's often better to be thought a fool and keep your mouth shut than it is to open it and remove all doubt. That's up next on the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
On January 26, 2021, respectively, Pelican Broadcasting Network, LLC, licensee of KPBN LD, Channel 14, RF Channel 14.2, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, filed an application with the Federal Communications Commission for renewal of its broadcast license. Members of the public wishing to view this application or obtain information about how to file comments and petitions on the application can visit www.fcc.gov/station search and search in the list of KPBN LD's filed applications. back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Little FYI, it occurred to me during the last commercial break. For those of you attempting to get tickets for this weekend's game, and again, I don't know how many have been sold of that 6,000 that will be allowed to be in the stadium just yet. But now that the word is starting to get out that there are some still available, you can probably imagine they're going to go pretty quickly. Lakeisha Franklin is the young lady that I spoke with earlier this morning. She is the assistant ticket manager at Southern. If you're interested in getting your SWAC football / band fix this weekend, area code 225-771-4191 is the number to call, or 4192. 225-771-4191 or 4192. And tell Lakeisha Franklin that Clarence is singing her praises today, and you are the person that, well, she is the person that you need to talk to in that regard. Hopefully, I will see 5,999 of my dearest friends in Mumford Stadium this weekend, along with Marty and the rest of the crew from ESPN3 as they carry the game. Before we broke in the last segment, I mentioned to you the old adage that it's often better to be thought a fool and keep one's mouth shut than it is to open it and remove all doubt. Enter, surprise, surprise, United States Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat from New York City. You've probably heard by now that in this hodgepodge of things, totally unrelated to COVID relief, there was this big push by the Democrats to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. In all likelihood, this $15 an hour federal minimum wage is going to be defeated in the Senate. But this week, in an interview, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said that she chastised Democrats for failing to support this $15 an hour minimum wage, contending that they are living, quote, in a dystopian capitalist nightmare. In the interview on the Mehdi Hassan show, have no idea who this person is, she said the following, quote, any person who thinks that a $15 an hour minimum wage is the crazy socialist agenda is living in a dystopian capitalist nightmare. And we shouldn't prop that up. We shouldn't continue that. There are basic goods that people can't afford to live on at $7.25 an hour. And it's deeply, deeply shameful that they're having this conversation in the first place. Here's where it gets really good. The quote continues, because when you take the minimum wage from several decades ago and you actually account for inflation and productivity gains of today, it should be $24 an hour. We all thought, no, actually, we all knew that you were a fool. We all knew it. But for those who didn't, now you got confirmation. It should be minimum wage, $24 an hour. You know, my late father God bless him, taught me early in life that a man should know, and this applies for women as well, but this was father talking to son, so it was gender specific. A man should know his limitations. Listen, y'all, don't let me fly your airplane. I will kill everybody on board. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It means I'm not a pilot. I know my limitations. It is obvious this woman has never come close to running anybody's for-profit business at any point in life. Now, for those cheering, well, yeah, you tell them, AOC, $24 an hour. That's what it ought to be. Take into account inflation and inflation and increases in productivity. Let's take a little walk down basic economics lane, shall we? For the person whose job for the day is to grab that big brown bag of fries, rip the tab off the top, empty it into the basket, push the buttons for the timer, and lower the basket of fries into the hot grease to pay them $24 an hour, or for that matter, $15 an hour. What are you going to pay the person that supervises the two guys on fries or girls, the person that supervises not just the people on fries, but on the grill? And what are you going to pay the people who are on the register and who manages them? Then there's the person that drives the 18-wheeler, 50, 60,000 pound vehicle, traveling multi-states to bring said fries and patties to the location. What are you going to pay them? So we've got $24 an hour for the minimum wage folk, which means in all likelihood the managerial staff is probably going to have to make at least twice that. So we're talking $50 an hour, well, $48 an hour, we'll round it off to 50, plus the $24 an hour for the people on minimum wage. And of course, for the transportation costs, the person taking the risk, driving the 18-wheeler all up and down the road to deliver the goods for you to sell, process, and sell, they've got to make at least 40 or 50. So now we're at about $125 an hour in expenses. What do you think the burgers are going to sell for in this place? If your overhead is running, and this is just for one person on fries, one manager, one truck driver, typically walk in any burger joint, you're going to see at least 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 people working. So you're up now to about, $500, $600, $750 an hour. You know how many burgers you're going to have to sell to break even? We're not talking about making a profit. We're talking about break even. Now, if you want to make a profit, I don't know what, Marty, we're talking about maybe $25 a burger? Either that or, tell you what we're going to do. You're going to be the only person on fries, because I'm going to have to fire the rest of them, can't afford it. One person on the register, We got to fire the rest of them. Or better yet, let's turn it into a kiosk. Let's get an automated kiosk to where you walk up, you punch in your order, put in your card or your cash like self-checkout at Walmart, and we don't need those jobs at all. Simple, basic economics. You don't have to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier to figure this out. And this woman is inhabiting the halls of Congress. This woman inhabits the legislative body that is charged with crafting laws in this country. Thanks, New York, for electing this clown and unleashing this fool on the rest of the country. You see now why it's so important that not only you vote, but you do your homework, you do your research, and you find out as much as you can about these clowns before you vote for them. $15 an hour, that's embarrassing to have this conversation. It should be $24 an hour. Now we know who slept through economics. Now we know who never even took economics. Now we know who's never, ever come close to running a business. And now we know why we find ourselves where we find ourselves. And you thought it didn't make any difference whether you vote or not. Yeah, maybe now you'll think twice. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up this absolutely yucky looking outside day edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with MANDA Fine Meats. Here at MANDA, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. MANDA Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. MANDA Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it MANDA every time.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
We're making 2021 the year of savings, and it starts right now at Team Toyota. Come get a new 21 Corolla for just $189 a month, or get a 20 Camry for just $19,995. It's a year full of savings starting right now, right here at Team Toyota.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Buck Show. Boy, sneaking a peek out of doors. It is one absolutely dreary, ugly day out of doors. And fortunately, and this is going to sound a little strange until you get the context for it. Fortunately, coming in to do the show today, it was pouring down rain for the majority of the drive in on the interstate. And we here in Louisiana, when it's dry, we can't drive. So you know what happens when you put water on the roadways. But typically, we only take into account, whoa, weather's bad, I need to slow down, when we can't see, when it's just pouring down so much rain, you can barely see the front of your car. Fortunately, that was the case, so I didn't have to deal with too many of you crazos out on the interstate. Looking outside right now, there's a brief break in the rain. Going home is probably going to be a different story, but that is what that is. Something I neglected to mention during the sports segment of today's show. Got to tip my hat to the coaching staff at Scotlandville High School here in Baton Rouge. For those of you that don't know, Scotlandville High School was one of, 3 predominantly all black, actually not predominantly, all black high schools growing up for us baby boomers here in Baton Rouge. There was Capitol High, McKinley High, Scotlandville High. And after decades, it transitioned into a magnet school. And they did away with all athletics, no athletics at all. Years later, after an outcry from the surrounding community around the school, it was no longer a neighborhood school. Instead, it was just a magnet school. So kids came from all across the parish to attend the engineering magnet program at Scotlandville High School. Years later, the community said, look, we need this involvement in the community. We need to have kids in Scotlandville able to attend Scotlandville High School. And we need athletics, organized athletics. So the Eastern Baton Rouge Parish School Board thought about the decision, acquiesced, reversed it. So now it is an engineering magnet program, but there are also kids that are just regular students in attendance, and the football and basketball programs have returned to Scotlandville High School. Well, last week during National Signing Day, 7 members of the Scotlandville Hornet football team signed national letters of intent to play college football. It is an immensely successful story. And don't misunderstand me, don't get it twisted. We're not talking LSU signees, Ohio State signees. As a matter of fact, the majority of them, I want to say 3 of the 7 are going to junior colleges. The other 4 are going to smaller schools. That's not the point. The point is the program has been reinstated and has rebounded to the point where they are now such an integral part of the community that the young men attending that school will have the opportunity to further their education, become degreed individuals, make a good living, become tax-paying citizens, and hopefully return that favor to whatever community they end up living in after that. You may remember that this is the same school where we did an interview with the coach this year, after a tragedy involving one of the other schools in the area. And the kids decided, you know what, we need to go and support this school. So for practice one day, they all loaded up in their cars, got their parents, teachers, and others with cars to drive the entire football team to this other school as a show of solidarity with the mourning that this school was going through. It was a gesture that harkened back to days of old. So to see that 7 members of Scotlandville's football team have signed national letters of intent to play college ball, as awesome as it is, really isn't all that surprising. It shows that the efforts of the coaching staff, the teachers, the administration, it's looking out for those kids and is furthering their benefit. I only hope, and I'm sure they will, that the administration and the coaching staff will stay in touch with these young men and allow them to share that journey with the students there now and the students in the community, particularly those that are not magnet school caliber individuals, not yet. Their example is one that a lot of kids can benefit from. Their example is one that hopefully a lot of kids will emulate. And it is a classic example, yet again, of how the sheriff in New Iberia said, it all starts at home, pure and simple. My time's up, and I gotta go. But this day, as ugly as it is out of doors, just like any other day, I will be the first to acknowledge, you know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect, but doggone it, for this old boy's money, it's still the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, I hope you realize by now that he loves you dearly, and as well that I do too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.